Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. I'm Peter Loshak. He's Jim the Bag. This is the live show that we do every day, 10 o'clock now, Eastern Time, where we give our official picks. Jim, you're coming off a rough day in the NHL. But again, you seem to be just you had Nashville on the money line. Looks like up until the third quarter, it looked like they were in control. You had it perfectly, right?
It was very disappointing. Lost another shootout game, but I don't think that would have been enough to save my night. A lot went wrong for me last night. Difficult sleep.
Yeah, but I think you can bounce back though. So overall, your record is significantly negative in the NHL, but certainly nothing that you can't bounce back from. I'm still up in the NHL pretty decently, and NBA we're chugging along. Although I did have 2 losses yesterday, so cutting it close. I'm now down to 7-5 in the NBA. But Jim, you are still nicely up in the NBA, 12-9. We'll see if you can continue that. Of course, we have a huge NBA card tonight, and don't forget, everyone, check the. What was that? Okay. Check the description box below check the links in the description box below the video where you can find the links to everything that is important in the SBR family of sites. All the links to social media stuff, the SBR odds, sportsbookreview.com, everything. Whether you're a millennial, Gen Xer, or even a baby boomer, it's all there in the description box, right, Jim?
It is, man.
No, I can tell. God, I feel so bad for you, Jim. I can read the disappointment on your face, Jim. I'm feeling for you, Jim. I didn't have a good night either. Not as bad as yours, though.
It was a disappointing night. I had 4 great nights in a row, and it seems like when I lose, I don't just barely lose. I fucking crash and burn.
Yes, well, you make a lot of picks, and we joked about how it's fun to make a lot of picks in these shows, which it is, but there's risk involved. But Jim, we can come back. All right, so we got MLB tonight, NBA, and college and NHL. And I did give a pick yesterday in my Al McMorty show. I did wind up adding in the NFL Tampa Bay -2, -110 to my official slate of picks. I previewed that game with Al McMorty, and in this show, he was leaning the same way I was, and I just decided to do that. Last week, the same time thing happened, and it was on the Seattle game. You were on that one as well, right, Jim?
I was, and we were all over Tampa last night on the wrap-up show, Beat the Bag. So this is great news. It's one of my 5 in the Beat the Bag contest.
Yeah, it seems a little obvious, but a lot of times in the end, well, a lot of times in all sports, but especially in the NFL recently, some of those just super obvious picks are the right side. I mean, if Cam Newton comes out and suddenly which we have seen him play like Superman out of nowhere after a few off weeks in a row, then you eat the loss. But if not, Tampa Bay's got to get it, right?
Well, the issue is no Kuechly.
Right.
McCaffrey last week, 7 carries for 10 yards. They're just this Shula-led offense is stagnant. This is 50 years OC. He needs to go. Offensive
line issues all over the place. All right, Jim, let's see if we can't make up some units today. We got 2 NHL games and a whole bunch of NBA. Why don't we start with the NHL? Just get that one out of the way. How about that? Is that okay? Would you rather start with NBA? Christ. Would you rather start with NBA? Would that make you feel better?
Yes, I'd rather start with the NBA.
Let's start with the NBA, Jim. Absolutely. No reason to trigger you quite yet, although the triggering is coming. Next time I say NHL will be when we have to go and make official picks on 2 games. All right, so NBA, last night, you went 3-3. No units lost, even. Everything was cool. Some good picks, some bad picks. I went 0-2, had to eat 2 units. Thought I had, wow, that under in the Cleveland game was not even close. I am still up overall, though, 7-5 NBA, and I'm hoping that I have a big night tonight because there are a bunch of picks that I think I'm seeing, that I think I'm liking. Let's start with the big game, Jim. Obviously, the Lakers game, right? LeVar Ball talking shit already. The Wizards are good. Right, they got a win and cover in Denver recently, which is in their last game, which is one of the picks that I had. And I'm thinking, as flawed as the Lakers might be, the Lakers getting 6.5 or even 7, I think, at one site that I saw that we use might be worth a shot. Am I wrong here, Jim?
You're absolutely right. The 7 points is too big. I like the Lakers here. The Marcin Gortat tweet really seemed to rile up these Lakers, and I was so close to hammering the under as well, but when we saw the Wizards light up that Pistons defense, I have a pause. Clarkson's also, he just put up a team-high 24 points off the bench. Larry Nance has not looked good, so it looks like Julius Randle will take that job, and he's more offensive than Nance. I like the Lakers here at +7. I think it's just too many points. We saw the Wizards barely get a win in their first game out west. I think they're going to have a tough time getting one here, and I expect them to win, but barely.
Right, right. Yes. Well, I there's a lot of picks that I feel like I'm having a good handle on this card, and that was definitely a pick that I bet it on the overnight. I will add it at 2 sites. Most sites have 6.5, but 2 have 7. The Greek has 7 minus 110, and Intertops, friend of the show, intertops.eu, the best betting site in the entire world, plus 7 minus 110. All right, I'm going to add that one to my official slate of picks. Are you adding that?
I am adding that, yes.
Okay, me and Jim both on the Lakers. Hopefully we won't get burned on this. I think we have a decent shot there. And I agree with your lean on the under, funnily enough. It was 230 on the overnight line, which I did bet a little bit. Wow, now it's down to 228, 228.5, 229. I would be agreeing with your lean to the under as well. I'll think about whether I want to give that one, and maybe even the let's see, the Wizards team total under, which is 118 minus 124. Man, that is a high team total. I'll think about that for now. I'll just put the 7 up there, and Jim's on that one as well. Similar game, Cleveland and Brooklyn, and similar line. On the overnight, it was also 6.5. Now it's up to 7, and I did bet Brooklyn on that one. Now, Jim, you had a great call fading Cleveland last night, although stupid move tailing me. It wasn't that the pick was the stupid part. It was that it was tailing me, Jim. You don't want to tail me long term in the NBA, but you'll realize that at some point. This game, though, Cleveland, again, just not quite the team, kind of team that you feel should be, a big favorite against anyone. They'll get their wins, but as a big favorite, they feel like more likely than not they're going to be a bet against this good bet against the spread. And I did bet Brooklyn plus 6.5 on the overnight line. They're coming off of their game against or their loss against Orlando, of course, as well. Now it's up to 7, so I'm not too happy about the line move. But what do you think about this one, Jim?
I think that the Cavs need another game with LeBron starting at point guard. Yeah. I think it's a really smart move because Jose Calderon is terrible. I predict he won't be on the roster for long. I think that Tristan Thompson moving back to the 5, or at least starting at the 5, is also a good move, moving Kevin Love back to the 4. I think this Cavs team just needs another game with this unit. Now, I don't like the Cavs enough to take them, but I don't like the Nets enough to take them. The Nets are the first team since '85 to score at least 115 points in each of their first 4 games. I took a good look at the over-under and just didn't feel comfortable. D'Angelo Russell only had 1 assist in last night's loss to the Magic. And it's clear that the Nets are going to put up a lot of points. I mean, they shot 41.7% from the floor, made only 32% in the fourth, and still had an enormously high offensive output.
Yeah.
They're going to be a tricky team to figure out. I mean, they can't score 120 points a game all year, so we need to wait for the right time to start hammering the under. And I think this would actually be it with LeBron, because he should slow the game down from the point. Right. But he didn't seem to do that last night.
Yeah, I was actually leaning the under as well, and also leaning Brooklyn plus 7, and maybe the Cleveland team total under was 117 plus 100. So you really don't really like Brooklyn here. Getting 7 points. You don't think it's going to be a relatively close game? Yeah, probably Cleveland. Feels like, is it going to be a blowout by Cleveland? Doesn't feel that way to me. You think it is?
The Nets are playing good basketball. Yeah. I'm on the Nets wagon, but I'm not comfortable in this position because the Cavaliers looked really bad yesterday, and LeBron's not going to allow them to play sloppy against such a shitty team. And now they have back-to-backs against another shitty team. LeBron's going to be gets another game starting at point guard. I mean, I like it. Like, my lean is Nets, but I just don't like it enough. I think that they're going to get more comfortable with this rotation. Wade coming in off the bench. Yeah. Which is a good move, smart move for Wade going. I love to see it when stars like that are cooperating. You know what I mean? Definitely. You're right, Jim. And yeah, that is a tough one. And LeBron sometimes gets really amped up when he comes into Brooklyn and New York and has a big game. So, all right, I will let me think what I want to do about that one. You know, I will throw it on there, but it definitely makes me nervous. I'm going to start trying to trust my instincts a little bit more here. Plus 7, minus 101 at Pinnacle. So obviously Cleveland is taking money, and I would not at all be surprised if this one is 8 by tip-off, because people do just love to bet LeBron, and they might be right here. I'll take the Knicks, though, plus 7, minus 101, and I would also have a slight lean to the under, although, I'm going to hold off on that one as well. All right, we'll get to every game, but Jim, what game are you really liking tonight? Well, I'm going to keep riding with my Pacers. I'm 2-0 when they're covering these big spreads. The Thunder have started out the year 1-2, and now Paul George faces his old team. The Pacers are going to be hungry, to defeat him. The guys he was traded for are playing well. Oladipo is playing better than I expected, 23.8 points a game. Sabonis has led the team in rebounding in 3 of their 4 games while coming off the bench. I've always been a huge Darren Collison fan. He's a beast. He went off for 15 points, 16 assists last night. The Pacers are averaging 119 points a game. I don't see how the Thunder can. I mean, this line has been going down, but I just think it's way too big. It was 14.5 this morning early. It's now down to 13.5.
Well, I'm seeing at the bookmaker 14 plus 105, so we can give you that one for sure.
Oh, that's great. I will take that.
That is at bookmaker and BetDSI plus 14 plus 105. Again, that is a line at 10 o'clock Eastern time, which is the line that we use. It does appear to be headed down, but Indiana plus 14 plus 105 is the line that. See, I was wondering, I was concerned that OKC, just being so rested, will come in here and have a big game at least to start. I was thinking maybe about the first half, I'm going to go check some comments here to see if anyone is commenting on anything we have to say. Yep, there you go. Jesus Cabrera likes OKC first half. Let's see. Other comments. Pull the trigger, Pete. Yes. Brooklyn played in Florida last night. Bad spot. Yeah, I mean, sure. Yes, I know that. But Cleveland also played at home, which is, not a great spot. I guess you would say that a team traveling from Florida is worse than a team traveling from Cleveland to Brooklyn. I feel like it's basically the same.
Marginally.
Yeah. But yeah, it might be. Look, it might be a bad spot for sure. Oh shit! Daryl Lyle says John Wall is going to kill ball. Does he mean that in terms of like life and death, or on the basketball court? Because if he means on the basketball court, that's not good. But I don't know. I'm going with the Lakers. Marco Spagnuolo says Brooklyn plays well when the big teams come to town. Yeah, and you're just getting a lot of all right, okay. So interesting comments. All right, we'll get to every game, but as of right now, yes, generally not no one coming out strong against anything that we've said. All right, so you're going to say that Indiana plus 14 plus 105 is one of your official picks.
It is one of my official picks. Delta 75-75, who we were capping with last night in the Beat the Bag wrap-up show, is a great capper. He likes Indiana under 218 as his best bet today.
I was thinking about the under on that one as well, but I'll have to think about that one. I was definitely leaning that way. I might tail him on that one. All right, now let's move on to let's see what else has caught my eye here. All right, well, the Denver-Charlotte game is interesting. Obviously, Denver having backcourt issues, which I mean, it was close against Wall and Washington, so they put up a nice effort there. Now they go into Charlotte, and I was thinking maybe Charlotte, just as a home dog, no brainer, small value. What do you think? Disagree?
This is a tough spot. First of all, I don't like Dwight Howard. Mm-hmm. He's 4 for 19 from the foul line. He had 22 rebounds last game, and I still thought he looked awful. Mm-hmm. He started the season with at least 15 boards in all 3 Hornets games. Now, the Hornets are getting Michael Kidd-Gilchrist back. That is a huge deal. Mm-hmm. When they get Batum back, then they'll be a real complete roster. But Jokic, 9 for 14 for 29 points. He's stepping up. The Nuggets are averaging 44.7 points per game from their bench. Mm-hmm. This was a game I was uncomfortable with, and I'm staying off of it. The Nuggets are a good team, and the Hornets were a good home squad last year. So it's a tough spot.
Yes, it absolutely is. So you're going to pass on that one.
I am going to pass on that one.
Okay,
yeah,
sounds good. A lot of positive comments though from the commenters here. Really appreciate that one. Let's see, where is it? Raynell Warren says, Pete and Jim, you two are the shit. Keep rolling, brothers. You guys are great. Thank you so much, Raynell Warren. Just wanted to shout that out because I just love looking down and reading that once in a while. Really makes me gives me a little serotonin boost or whatever the hell it is that I'm lacking. All right, so let's see. What else we have? Another bet that I made on the overnight, which has gone in my direction a little bit. Memphis and Dallas. Now, I know Dallas is a bad team. I did take a shot with the over on that one at 195. It's now up to, where is it? Where is that total? It's now up to 195.5. Heritage does still have 195. Memphis, obviously, an excellent team. Not sure if they're going to be as much of an over team as I thought they would be, but in this game, I like them, and with a team total over 99.5. Do you disagree with that, Jim?
This morning, I was certain I was going to take the Grizzlies, and then I started feeling like, is this a trap situation? The Mavs have started 0-4. They're clearly missing Seth Curry's offense. They have no toughness. Yeah, I think the Grizzlies are going to beat the Mavericks. I do, but, is this a spot where I'm going to look bad taking this road favorite, which has happened to me often in the past, and it gave me a pause. Like, Memphis finished off that Rockets game on a 20-2 run. Yeah. Why would I not hammer the Grizzlies here?
Well, I'm more thinking about the team total over, which is 99.5 minus 111.
The Mavericks have moved the ball so slowly.
Yes, that's true.
And I don't have a sense of what's going on in Dallas. I can't figure out what Carlisle's doing, and because of that, I've decided to stay away from this game, and that may be a big mistake.
Well, no. The smart move may be staying away from every game on the card for the rest of your life. That might be this. No, I'm kidding around. That's what I mean. That's one. You could make that argument for every single human being.
I hear you. It looks to me like the Grizzlies are going to beat up this shitty Mavericks team. I mean, I don't know why Harrison Barnes isn't playing well. Wesley Matthews has done nothing. Dirk Nowitzki's done nothing. When are these guys going to step up? I mean, I'm going to stay away from this game.
All right, I will take the Memphis team total over 99.5 minus 111 at Pinnacle right now. Hopefully it's not like a 96-73 type game. It could be, right?
It could be.
Could be.
I just have no idea what's going on in Dallas, and I know Carlisle is a very good coach, and I'm going to watch. Justin Searcy thinks I'm making a mistake. You know, he thinks
not taking Memphis.
Yeah, not taking Memphis.
What does he think about my team total over? Let me get to that. Do you think it's going to be so low scoring that Memphis will get a big win, but not get to 100, like 96-73 type deal?
You know, Delta 75-75 says Barnes and Matthews are out of shape. The team just looks bad. My man Wiz says I'm bugging. Memphis is the play.
Justin Searcy says Grizzlies -5. This is not a trap in all capital letters. Yes. Terrence Kelly, no trap. Pull the trigger. Do it, bag. Everyone say, wow. Justin Searcy saying those teams hardly ever go over. Yes. Terrence Kelly says Memphis covers easily, and I'm from Dallas. My sense is until they just bench or get rid of Nowitzki, Dallas is going to be overvalued the whole way through. Delta 75-75, those expecting an over. Memphis 104, Mavs 97. All right, so what's the deal? No? Okay, all right. We got a tech guy coming close to us. All right, so I'm going to take the Memphis team total over 99.5, and Jim the Bag is going to pass on this game.
I'm going to pass on this game.
All right. Any other games you want to hit there, Jim?
Yeah, there are a couple games that I do like. I'm going to take the 76ers as a home dog. I'm going to take the spread, though. I'm going to allow a Harden three-pointer at the buzzer to not destroy me. I like this spot. Embiid, the way he played against Andre Drummond opened up my eyes. He's now got into it with Whiteside and Drummond to start the year. He's telling everybody that he's not going to be intimidated, and I am extremely impressed. I think he is going to be one of the most dominant players in the league for a while. Okay. And so Ben Simmons is averaging 17 points, 10.8 rebounds, 7 assists. I think this is a complete basketball team. And with Eric Gordon starting in place of Chris Paul, I know he just put up 27 points against the Grizzlies, but and there are some problems. Rockets are 3-1 despite shooting 27.5% from three. But the real thing I like here is that Ariza has been ruled out. Nene is unlikely. I just think this is a great spot for the Sixers. And I expect this line to move in a bad direction. I expect the Philly to get bet.
You expect Philly to get bet?
I do.
Or Houston to get bet?
No, I think Philly will get bet. I think people will look at the matchups, see that Ariza's not in the lineup, and then Nene is unlikely, and they'll worry. And I'm happy to take plus 3.5.
All right, 3.5 minus 108 is the line right now at Pinnacle. Best line. 5 Dimes also has that. It's a split line right now, 3 or 3.5. Yeah, you might be right there, Jim. In general, I have had a good read on Philly for 2 years now. This game I'm going to stay off of, but I don't necessarily disagree with your call there. What else are you liking, Jim?
I like the Spurs tonight. I'm going to also take them with the spread as an official pick. Aldridge has led the Spurs in scoring every game. He looks incredible, 24.3 points, 9.3 rebounds. Now, they were still waiting for Kawhi Leonard to hop in the lineup, but man, DeJounte Murray, is he ever playing incredibly well? He got 15 boards against the Raptors. He's leading the Spurs in rebounding. 9.7 rebounds a game. I'm extremely impressed. I know the Heat are 2-0 at home. Whiteside's being ruled out. There's a big question mark whether Dragic and Waiters will both be in the lineup. Could be the Tyler Johnson, Wayne Ellington show. If it is, I like the Spurs here. I like the Spurs bigs dominating this game without Whiteside in the lineup. I think this is a really nice spot. Now, I know that you can't always trust the Spurs and Pop playing all his guys, early in the year in back-to-back situations. So I'm concerned. But I like the Spurs here, and I'm comfortable.
Okay, -3.5, -115 is the best line that exists right now in a bunch of places, including Intertops, -115, and a few other places. So -3.5, -115 is a line we can give you on that one. Now let's talk about the Minnesota-Detroit game. Very interesting one here. Minnesota, of course, coming off of a loss that was a little bit embarrassing, right? Got beat down by Indy. Indy shot lights out, and you got to figure that they're going to come back here and at least to start the game be somewhat pissed, somewhat motivated, although the line has moved in Detroit's favor pretty strongly. Detroit was a small home dog on the overnight line. Now I'm seeing pick'em or -1. Detroit, obviously a team we know that you're kind of high on, Jim, to start the season. Do you think that Minnesota comes in here and has the talent and motivation to maybe be a good play early on the first half or first quarter? What do you think?
I do think that is a good play. I was very disappointed in the Pistons game against the Knicks. I know they did come back to take care of business, but Van Gundy is upset as well. So he's changing the starting five. He's going to move John Lure to start a power forward and then move Tobias Harris to small forward. I think that is a better defensive situation. Obviously, they were upset. The Wizards game upset me a lot, too. They were just allowing buckets too easily. My whole idea with this Pistons team is they were going to be tough defensively, and it was upsetting. I think the Timberwolves are the play here, and I'm going to leave the game alone. And really, I can't wait to watch this game. It looks like Jimmy Butler is going to be out with the upper respiratory infection again, but I'm very I don't like the last two games from the Pistons, and I was high on them, so I'm upset, and I'm just going to watch and see how they handle this. I think the Timberwolves are going to come out angry.
Yeah, you think they might be a good bet on the first half, first quarter?
I do, but I'm still curious to see how Pistons are going to be at home in this new building. The Timberwolves' defense is an enormous problem.
Yeah.
They're just not getting in the faces of any of the opponents. I don't know what to make of these two teams yet, man. Early in the year, and I need to watch this one. Okay.
I'll hold off it as well. Are there any other picks you want to give, Jim?
Those are all my basketball picks.
Those are all your NBA picks. All right. So I have a bunch of totals leans. I don't know if I want to give them all or not, but I was leaning the over in the Minnesota Detroit game. I did bet that one at 208. The under in the Denver Charlotte game. I bet that one. The under in the Cleveland Brooklyn game. The under in what else? The Indiana OKC game at 218. All those plays are plays that I was leaning towards. Should I give them all or what? What do you think? Any of those you really like or disagree with significantly?
The over-unders are so difficult. I've not had a good read on them early in the year, and I feel like I can't lead you with confidence. I'm uncomfortable. I've been way off on them. Even though I have a good record, my over-unders have been bad. I was curious about this Jazz-Suns game. The line, I mean, the Jazz aren't scoring at all, and you know that the Suns can only score. And I thought that might be a good spot, and now I'm uncomfortable with that.
We're also having some mic complaints here. Armin Hinjosa says, getting some feedback from one of the mics. Jansen Bonzone saying, what's with the mic sounds? Whose shirt is scruffing the mic? So we're definitely getting two different indications that there are mic issues. Sorry about that. Big E now says, perfect, thanks, audio guys. So I don't know what's going on with the audio, but if there are any issues, we apologize. All right, so let's get to some other comments here. Let's see. Pilo says, OKC will not cover. OKC, there you go, Jim. You're on that one. I was leaning towards the under on that one at 217. Sports Capper likes Minnesota +1. A lot of people liking Minnesota tonight. Wow. Very nice. Very nice. A lot of people. Wow. Terrence Kelly, Minnesota comeback. Okay. Bookie, Delta 75, Pistons. Bookies are overrating Pistons and Nuggets. Justin Searcy likes Grizzlies -3.5. Spurs, Grizzlies -5. Spurs -3.5. And the under. Carlos Luter's liking the Detroit under. Oh, really? I was thinking about over on that one. I was thinking that again, as you said, Minnesota might have some issues defensively, but will explode offensively. But you disagree with that? Hard to say.
Anthony Towns is going to play huge.
Yeah.
I know he's going to play huge. And Andre Drummond did not look good against Embiid. He's not been playing the kind of shutdown. He's not being the rim protector that I expected to. The Pistons are allowing so many more points than I expected. So, yeah, I can see why you'd want to make that move.
All right, so let me see. Let's see. Okay. Justin seriously saying, I do not like that Utah-Phoenix game. Okay, so, yeah, I guess my leans would be Minnesota-Detroit over, Denver-Charlotte under. I'm really kind of liking that one at under 210.5. Indiana-OKC under 217. And the Cleveland-Brooklyn game on the under is also lean. And, yes, the Memphis-Dallas game, even though they do tend to be lower scoring, leaning over on that one. And I definitely bet the team total over for Memphis and also the over in that game as well. But as of right now, Jim, you have Lakers +7. Indiana +14, Philly +3.5, and the Spurs -3.5. I have the Lakers +7, the Nets +7, and the Memphis team total over 99.5. Should we just leave it at that?
I'm comfortable there.
Okay, we'll just leave it at that. Three picks from me, 4 picks from Jim, a whole lot of leans, but I'm gonna wait and think and watch and try to get a little bit of a better read on some of these teams before I start throwing on a whole bunch of totals plays. But those are definitely leans that I have: the Memphis Dallas over, Indiana OKC under, and the Denver Charlotte under are also definite leans that I have. All right, that wraps it up for NBA. Should we move on, Jim?
We should.
All right, here we go. NHL, Jim the Bag. NHL, Jim the Bag, coming off of a pretty crappy day. You did double up on 2 games, which is why your overall record was bad. You doubled up on Florida, team total, and the money line. Doubled up on Chicago, team total, and the money line.
But Florida only got 1 goal.
Yeah, I know. And I wanted to take the over on that one, and Montreal did wind up covering that, making the over cover. You got unlucky with Dallas. Yeah, I'm sorry, with Nashville. But you nailed the Islanders puck line. All right, so we have 2 games tonight. The first game didn't have an overnight line, but I did wind up looking at it, and that is Calgary at St. Louis. Of course, Calgary coming off of a bounce-back win or a come-from-behind win late yesterday, and now they go on the road against a rested St. Louis team who's playing well. I got to be thinking that St. Louis, is a play here on the puck line or the money line, and I would be leaning over as well. I don't know what your thoughts are on Lack in goal, but I certainly, regardless of what your record is, Jim, your knowledge and research on these games is second to none.
That is kind of you to say, and I know Eddie Lack very well from his time in Vancouver, and he is a sieve. The Blues at the puck line is a play for me today. It's an official pick I'm going to make. Jaden Schwartz, 3rd in the league in scoring at 13 points, only been held off the score sheet once this year. Now they're missing Berglund and Bouwmeester, and that's tough. They don't have a lot of depth on D. But this Flames comeback, I just don't buy it. I love their top 6 forwards. Don't get me wrong, but they just don't have enough depth.
Right.
So in back-to-backs, that should be exploited. And now I know Matthew Tkachuk is the real deal. I'm still very upset that the Canucks didn't draft him 5th overall and he went to the Flames 6th overall. I was very, very upset still. He's St. Louis born, so I know he's going to come out big tonight. He tied the game in regulation, won it in the shootout last night. But I like the Blues by the puck line here, and I'm comfortable with it.
Okay, the best line right now is a +191, -1.5, +191 at Pinnacle. I will also be on the Blues, and when we've been on teams together in the NHL on the money line, we've roughly I think overall we've had a pretty good record. Although we had a terrible loss yesterday with the over in the Buffalo Detroit game, but I feel comfortable about this one. Jim's going to take the puck line at +191. I'm going to take him on the -1 line. The money line part of that will be -154, and the puck line part of that +191, so that's a small underdog line there for St. Louis -1. And I'm also taking the over in this one, 5.5 -110 at Bookmaker is the line right now. I think St. Louis should have a decent offensive day. Calgary probably throws in a few on their own, and a decent play on the over, I think. And then Buffalo Columbus, kind of a similar situation, except a way worse line, right? Buffalo on a back-to-back coming off of that game against Detroit, and then Columbus also rested and off of 2 home losses, so it feels like another good spot to take Columbus. But the line is huge, although it has come down a little bit. It's now -210 at sportsbetting.ag, 215 at Pinnacle, so a little bit more chill than what I saw last night, which was like around 250. What's your take on this one, Jim? Obviously a bounce back spot for Columbus, but is the line too high?
The line isn't great. The line is not great. Last year, the Jackets only lost consecutive games at home once. Tortorella won't accept this. Now, I'm not a Tortorella fan, but he's a fiery, intense guy, and he just won't accept this. So they've now switched Foligno to the top line, moved Wenberg back to the second line. Also, the Jackets are last in faceoff percentage. That should not continue. They have guys who can win draws and have won draws in the past. The Sabres shutout last night was a surprise. I went over their depth on defense right now. They have 3 of their top 6 defensemen out. How they didn't allow a goal is beyond me. And with that defensive issues, with these guys having to play 25 minutes a game, I really think that I'm going to take the Jackets at the puck line, even though I'm upset. I'm only getting, I guess, what is it, plus 135?
On the puck line, yeah. Well, no, the Greek has plus 140, so we can give you that one, plus 140.
I'll take that. I'm going to take both these home squads on the puck line, and I'm comfortable with the play.
Okay, minus 1.5, plus 140. Jim is taking, and I was thinking about a shot with the under, but you like Bobrovsky in general. He's probably going to have a good game, or do you think he can give up his share of goals once in a while?
I like him. I like him, but we've seen that he has given up his share of goals once in a while this year, so he's probably an okay goalie to fade at this point. I have an interesting Rosa Drew Lilio Jameson asked me, what is a sieve? Which is
what is
sweet.
A sieve? I don't know. I think it has something. It's like a drug reference, right?
No, it's when you have the bowls with all the holes in it, and you put the pasta. It's a sieve. You put the pasta in the sieve, and then the water leaks out.
I thought it was like when you're cooking powdered cocaine into crack cocaine, and you drain out the water, and I don't know.
Well, you know what? I'll go up to the kitchen right after this and see what I can put
I have
together.
no idea what a sieve is, but I know it's bad when it comes to hockey and goalies. And I know that if you say a goalie is a sieve, that's a bad thing, right?
It means there's a lot of holes.
Right. Yes, absolutely. All right. So let's see. Yes. Let's see. That's it for NHL. Just those 2 games. And do I want to give I was leaning over in the Buffalo Columbus game. What do you think about that one? Do you have anything to say about that one? Or
I was shocked that the Sabres are their goaltending duo. I mean, I can see why you'd want to take the over. Is it at 5?
5.5. No, 5.5 minus 104 at betonlinesportsbetting.ag. What do you think? Buffalo's going to be able to contribute anything offensively here?
Yeah, I do. I especially do. They have an offensive team. So I was surprised that the game was so low scoring. And I'd be surprised to see it twice in a row. Now, the issue is Tortorella. He's obviously extremely upset with how the Jackets are playing. So he's switched the Foligno onto the top line, which is going to make that line much more defensive. And so, and the issue is they're not winning any faceoffs. And I know Torts is just going to hammer them at that. And obviously, I've had no feel whatsoever for the Buffalo Sabres this year, and I just can't. I don't have enough confidence leading you in that direction.
All right, I guess I will hold off on that one for now. I'll hold off on that one for now, and I will just stick with the Calgary St. Louis plays. All right, that wraps it up for NHL. Jim the Bag on St. Louis puck line plus 191. Columbus puck line plus 140, and I'm on St. Louis -1 at small underdog odds, and Calgary St. Louis over 5.5 minus 110. That does it for NHL today. Now let's move on to Game 2 in the World Series. Yesterday was a tight game, low scoring as expected, and now today we have Verlander going up against Hill. Verlander obviously has been awesome in the playoffs and was awesome as soon as Houston acquired him. So he has just been a rolling train, and I don't know. Feels like Houston would be the play here. Hill is good, but feels like he's going to go 5 innings, probably give up a few, and then Houston maybe has the edge in this game in the second half of the game. What do you think? Houston as a small underdog?
Yeah, and when I was up bright and early this morning, you could get plus 106, plus 107, plus 108. It's been going down all morning. I got it in the SBR MLB competition, and I best bet it at plus 100. It had already gone down to plus 100.
Oh, it's still going on in the playoffs, that contest?
Yes, and with this win, I will be in the top 10 out of 150 or so.
Oh, very nice.
But yeah, I like Verlander here a lot. He's 9-0 with a 1.23 ERA in 9 regular season and playoff games combined in an Astros uniform. 1.23 ERA. He has a 1.46 ERA in the playoffs. 24 Ks and 24 and a third. We know that the Astros smash lefties. Now, obviously, Clayton Kershaw is not your average lefty, so we can excuse the Astros offense. We've had to excuse the Astros offense often in this playoffs. But Rich Hill, his curveball better be moving because these Astros are going to hit him hard. And I really like Verlander in this spot.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Are you going to make this one an official pick, Jim?
I'm going to make it an official pick.
All right, best line right now would be at Pinnacle plus 101. Houston, money line, plus 101. And I'll stay off it. You know, I gave Houston yesterday plus 1 just sort of as a last-minute, official pick and got burned on that one. I'm still well up on the year, up over 10 units, but I'll hold off on this one. Jim will give a pick, though, Pinnacle plus 101 for Houston on the money line. And that's it for MLB.
Yeah, and there's some interesting stuff. Jansen Bronson says hard for American League pitchers to dominate when they have to bat. Justin Searcy says Houston bats got to get hot. Rich Hill is the spot. I agree. And Rich Banks still there. Everyone's hearing too much static.
More comments on this one. Jesus Cabrera saying, Mike, too much static. Jansen, Rich Banks saying, y'all got to check your cords. Obviously, audio issues. And again, we apologize. Also, I was just, when I said before that I don't know what a sieve is, I was just kidding. Of course I know what a sieve is. I was just kidding around, but a sieve is. Yeah, I think it's fun to say, to pretend that I don't know stuff. All right, so I guess we can wrap it up here, Jim, right? Despite all the audio issues, I think it was a good show.
I'm very angry at what happened to me last night, and yes. I'm very angry, and I think that I'm in a good spot with these two hockey games.
Okay.
I'm also going to put this into my own action. I'm going to take both games at the puck line. One of them comes through, you're up. Two of them come through, you're huge.
All right, so overall, just to recap, Jim's picks, Lakers plus 7, Indiana plus 14, Philly plus 3.5, and Spurs minus 3.5 in the NBA. In MLB, Houston money line. In hockey, St. Louis puck line plus 191 and Columbus puck line. My picks to recap, in the NBA, Lakers plus 7, Nets plus 7, Memphis team total over 99.5. In hockey, St. Louis minus 1, Calgary, St. Louis over 5.5. And yesterday, I did add on Tampa Bay to my official NFL picks during the week, and that's it. That's all we got for today, Jim. All right, good luck. Hopefully you'll have a positive day, and we'll be a little more smiley with better audio tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, guys.